Well, hey, hey team, we're just waiting for the last judge to turn up. Jeremy's just ducked out, so. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NZIPP Iris Awards judging. This is the Wedding Creative category. The Iris Awards are proudly sponsored by Canon, and our category here is sponsored by Wedding Workflows. We're just going to play a quick video for our major sponsor, Canon.
Watch.
Okay, thank you, Canon, for that. And as I mentioned, our wedding category here is sponsored by Wedding Workflows. So, doesn't appear to have a video here, even though we're told that there is. Let's just try that.
Hi everyone, this is Anna Galloway and this is Rupert.
I'm Kate Craig Brown from Lost in Love.
Greta Kenyon here from Together Journal.
It's Kelly from Shaken and Stirred Weddings.
And I'm Rick Liston from Wedding Workflows, where our virtual assistants help New Zealand photographers with
Invoicing,
With my website,
Their systems, their processes,
Email drafting,
building run sheets,
blogging,
zero reconciling,
managing emails.
social media.
and it just basically means that I can spend more time with this guy.
Bye!
Hi everyone, this is Anna.
Oh, so cute. Okay, so as you know, this is the wedding creative category. My name is Paul Daly. I'm your panel chair for today. We have Nicola Wilhelmsen beside me, who is assisting. We'd just like to acknowledge and thank all the people behind the scenes that are going to be doing the print handling and changing of all the, keeping an eye on everything out the back there for us. Okay, so we're going to start off with a run through of the category. So just a quick slideshow of the images that are about to be judged. Okay, so we're just going to get some exclusions from judges. If there's any images there that they need to be excluded from judging, that hasn't already been logged into the system. While we're doing that, I'm just going to read through the category descriptor, which is quite lengthy, but so the wedding category, creative category is designed to recognise and reward photographers who push the boundaries of traditional wedding photography. This category celebrates artistic expression, creative concepts and storytelling in the context of weddings and related events such as engagement sessions, stylized shoots and anniversaries. It encourages photographers to experiment with creative themes, compositions and post-production techniques while maintaining the connection to the wedding narrative. This category celebrates innovative wedding photography and goes beyond traditional moments and embraces artistic freedom and conceptual photography. It recognises photographers who creatively interpret wedding stories through unique compositions, concepts and post-production approaches, while still honouring the essence of emotional connection on the wedding day, all of the related events. This category rewards photographers who push the creative boundaries, while maintaining strong connection to the wedding narrative. Creative compositions, bold themes and storytelling techniques are all encouraged, while ensuring clear link to the wedding context. Okay, and there's a vast number of things that are available to the wedding creative category photographers to photograph, things such as the wedding day, hen and stag parties, trash the dress sessions, engagement sessions, anniversaries, stylised weddings and elopements. Okay, so I think we've been given the green light to start, so we're just going to try and get our first judges up. Just one moment. Okay, so we've got a thank you. Yep. So just calling to the judges, our first judges. Can we please have Tania, Amber, Shah, Jeremy, and Justin, in no particular order. We've got some amazing judges, and we'll get a little bit of a rundown on each of them as we go through. Okay, but the judges at the moment are just going to log themselves into the system, and once they're ready to go, we can start. Is everybody logged in? Oh, we've got a technical issue already. How are we going, team? Oh no, not already. Okay. We're just going to have to... no, technology just hasn't had its coffee yet. Okay, are we all good out the back to go? All right. Can we have the first print, please? Okay, we currently have a score of 84. But we have an automatic challenge. Shah?
I scored this image 93. This is an incredible piece of work. It's something that is unique. It's original. It is a really interesting and an innovative way to showcase wedding images in a form that I've never ever seen before. The circles create that feeling of bond and unity. It also has the celestial journey of making it look like planets, and as you know, when you do get married, you are on an incredible journey. The photographer has created an incredible piece of communication, and I really encourage the judges to have another look at this. I think it's absolutely fantastic. 93.
They are having another look. Whilst the lower end goes and has a look, Jeremy?
Yeah, thanks for challenging this, Charlotte. I was a little bit confused and excited at the same time. I kind of found myself in this, I mean, my score represents probably where my mind was, 83. I've definitely got room to move. I like the celestial thing. I kind of picked up on that idea to begin with, but I wasn't 100% sure if I was heading in the right direction with my mind, but really original, really well handled. The circles are beautiful. They're not perfect. Well, they don't seem to be perfectly aligned, which kind of works in my brain. And then you've got that light and dark in the background, which kind of adds to that element of space and possibly time. The thing that I was struggling with a little bit was linking the images together and understanding or trying to find a reason for why.
Okay, with the rest we're all clumped together, so who wants to go? Yep, go, Jeremy. Justin, sorry.
I was so excited to see this when I saw it in the run-through, and I agree, the interplanetary celestial thing, it's amazing. It is unique, it's original, it's something I've never seen. If I had one wish, I just wished that they were slightly bigger, or this print was slightly bigger. I just want to appreciate more of what's going on with the couples in each circle. I love the third one, the inclusion of the bridal party. But yeah, you know, I'm going to come up. I'm not sure I can come to the gold range for that reason, but I'm going to come up to distinction for sure.
Okay, Shah, back to you.
Thanks, guys. I think size-wise, I don't know that it would work as well. I think the intricacy and the delicateness of it was what its strength is, Justin. It makes you look, it makes you stop and stare. I don't know that the photographer intended to have a link as such. I think it's just a beautiful depiction of couples and bridal parties that sort of depict what a wedding day is. Sometimes we just need to look at something and think, wow, this is a really amazing piece of work. And it doesn't necessarily need to have a strong narrative if it has a strong dynamic and an incredible visual impact. And I think this is really what the photographer is showing us here with this image. So yes, your mind is on the right track, 100%, and you have got room to move. So I really encourage you to reward the photographer for a really unique piece of communication. Thank you.
Okay, judges, please rescore. Okay, nice talking. We've got it up to an 88, which is silver distinction. Okay, thank you very much for that. And can we have the next print, please? Okay, we've got a score of 82, which is a silver award. And, yeah, okay, Amber? Yep, go for it.
I was on 86 for this image, and I do really feel like this sits in the silver distinction range. I really love the feeling that this image gives of kind of a lot of chaos going around in the environment, but though that couple is just in their quiet moment together. It's actually a really compositionally quite beautifully crafted image. There's lots and lots of layers in there. I love the way the whole tonal palette is just kept together really beautifully, and I just think that this actually really works. So I think that we need to give it a few more points.
Okay, down the other end of things. Shah.
Yeah, thank you, Amber. I scored the image 78. Compositionally, it's a striking image. It's an interesting concept. The circles are beautiful. There's beautiful highlights. There's some little rainbows and things in there, which, you know, they're the symbol of happiness, which you probably get from this image. I think for me, just the highlights with the car lights is just what's throwing me off. I want to rest with the image, and I'm finding that the car in behind is just a little bit too hot for me. So that's why I scored it 78.
Jeremy, you're up near Amber.
Yeah, I was up there with Amber as well. A really weird thing happened where I actually didn't see the car when the print came out, which I thought was really interesting because just on the back of that previous print, sorry to the author of this image, there was a very celestial vibe happening here. I didn't see the car. I just thought they were floating in some kind of astral landscape, which was phenomenal. And then when I got up close, the car came out. But just on that comment, Shah, about the highlights of the car, I think the unfortunate thing, which I'm on 86, so I'm not punishing this image at all, but maybe a different paper choice might have taken away from that because of the gloss on the paper. But I don't think we should hold that against the photographer. It's just such a beautiful image. The way that this couple is just held by those lights and the raindrops and the challenges that this photographer faced to get this moment is just amazing. It's an exquisite image. It's very harmonious. Even the way that the droplets of light are catching the light is, yeah, it's a really amazing photograph, and I think it definitely needs to be rewarded.
Back to you, Amber.
Thank you for that support. The more I look at it now, especially back here from a distance, the more that I just think to myself, there aren't that many images that I would personally want if that was my wedding and that was, or like a family members or something. It's a wedding image that actually really stands alone as a beautiful artwork, and that whole celestial nature that you've spoken about really, I just think that it would sit on a wall so beautifully. Also, Shah, the hotness of the highlights of those lights, I think, is actually perfectly appropriate in a lighting situation like this, though they just would be utterly blown out. I mean, they're, hot lamps in there. So I really think that I actually regret giving this an 86, and I think that we should really bring this firmly up into the silver distinction range.
Okay, thank you, judges. Please rescore. Amber, can you put your score back in, please? Thank you. Okay, good talking. 85, silver distinction. Okay. All right, can we have the next print, please? print handlers are doing a great job of sliding the prints in very carefully so everybody can see them without damaging them. Okay, we've got a score of 78, which is a bronze award. Okay, and can I have a comment for the photographer from somebody? Am I gonna... Okay, Amber, let's start at the far end.
Congratulations on your bronze award. This is a beautiful image. In order to improve this a little bit, I think that it just needs a little more finesse with the lighting. Those edge highlights are extremely contrasty and just down the back of the male figure, a little bit patchy. So if you were able to just finesse those highlights a little bit more, I think that would add a lot of strength to this image.
Okay, great. Thank you for those comments. And can we have the next print, please? Okay, we've got a score of 79, which is a bronze award. Yes, Shah, yes, you can elect to challenge.
I scored this image 74.
No, you didn't.
Oh, sorry, 84. Can someone get me a coffee, please? My apologies to the entrant. I scored this image 84. The colour palette is soft and moody, and it's equally balanced by the connection and the movement of the couple. The connection between the two of them is quite delightful, and it's a beautiful landscape, but the landscape hasn't overruled them. They're the highlight of the image, but they have such a beautiful way of being presented here to us, which is a little bit different from what you would normally expect in an environment like that. So I really commend the photographer for presenting something that's just a little bit different, a little bit quirky, but has beautiful movement and a wonderful connection And again, as an art piece on the wall, I mean, that would look absolutely stunning, and any wedding couple would be absolutely delighted to have something like this on their wall. So congratulations to the photographer. I really encourage judges to have another look. I think it's worthy of a good solid silver.
Tanya.
I scored this image 74. The reason that I did that was just that the central, I really appreciated and enjoyed the images around the central image and the moments and the beauty within those. It was just the central image, the bride, the angle of her face and the focus on her nose and chin was just a little unflattering. And I think that just to look at that could, that if that was a different angle, that would have raised my score. And just a little bit more space on the edges, I felt like it was a little bit tight on the edges and on the bottom. But other than that, yeah, I appreciate the creativity that the photographer has presented us.
Okay, thanks, Tanya. Jeremy? Justin, sorry.
Whoops, sorry. I tend to agree with Tanya. If an image is going to be prominent in the middle like that, it needs to stand out with bold reason why. I would have awarded this more if that image had been the same as the other four. If the middle couple, well, it's the same couple obviously, but the middle one had been the same as the other four, it would have, for me, it would have had a lovely flow. Yeah.
Okay, Charles, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, judges. When you're a dancer, particularly if you're a ballroom dancer, you actually have your head in that position. So you actually start with your head well away from your dance partner. So I'm wondering if this couple do actually have a dance background, because you do actually have your head in that position to start with. The central couple, Justin, I think that it needs an anchor, and the way that and it has symmetry, so you do actually look at the couple, but they are supported by the movement behind them, and it almost sort of depicts the journey that they're now on as a married couple. And there's such delight and sensitivity in the way that this image has been presented to us. So look, you're not far off the pace, so let's just reward this image with a few more points, please.
And you're just going to have to wait a moment because I forgot to push a button. And the technology is very slow this morning. Stand by, and go. Please score. Shah, you need to put your score back in, please. Okay, you've done it. 80, silver award. Okay, thank you, judges. And if we can have the next print, please. Okay, we've got a score of 80, which is a silver award. Okay, Shah, yep, you can elect.
I scored this image 86. When you sit here and you look at it for a little bit longer, it has an incredibly calming, ethereal feel to it. The lighting has been beautifully handled. It's a really well-balanced way of showing all the details that go into a wedding. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but on the window there's a security sign that just gives it that little bit of nuggety goodness, protecting the elements that are in the photograph. The windows are beautifully positioned, the lighting is stunning, and it's just a wonderful way for a bride to remember all the things that were part of the wedding day, and it's been presented in a beautiful, beautiful way. The square mat works superbly, and it's been well handled. So I encourage you, judges, to have another look. I scored at 86.
Jeremy, you're down the other end of the scale. Can I ask for a comment?
Sure, yeah. From here, when the print first came out, I thought it was a really beautiful scene as well, Shah. Just getting up close to it, the darks, unfortunately, there's just a real big drop-off from the mid-tones to the blacks, and I just wanted to see more of the detail, which kind of feels slightly ironic to say, but I think there's more information in that image than I can see in the print, and that fall away is... I put it in high professional practice. High professional... No, sorry. No, is that what I heard?
You put it in bronze.
Oh, bronze, sorry.
Yeah.
To get it up to silver, I mean, I need more convincing. Beautiful scene, but yeah, there's a few issues in there that were holding me back.
Justin, you're in the silver.
Yeah, sure. I thought this image was great and well deserved of a silver award. You know, when you first look at it, you see what most people would probably be bugged by, a little bit of vine or plant, and the fact that the hanging strap is hanging out of the left of the dress, the fact that the dress is, we see the back of the dress, not even the front of it. And then you look at the shoes and you're like, right, you could probably see that this image suits the bride and those shoes that have been worn. And I just think it's been thought about and it's been well crafted, and I'm happy with it in silver. It's great. Well done.
Okay, Shah, back to you.
Thanks for the support, Justin. I totally agree with you. The more you look at it, the more little things that you see. And to be honest, initially I didn't see the shoes. So thank you for pointing that out. And even more reason to bring the scores up a little bit. It has a quirkiness to it, and I think that's what the image strength is. Lighting-wise, I think that the drop-off is necessary to draw us into the centre of the image. Otherwise, I think you would find it quite restless and you would find it hard to focus on. But I feel that the way that it's been presented lighting-wise highlights the things that are important in this image. And that's why I think it is so successful and worthy of a few more points. Thank you.
Okay, judges, please rescore. Okay, you solidified the silver, 82. Okay, all right. Thank you for that. And can we have the next print, please? Shah. I think you might need to put enter or something. Thank you. Okay, we've got a score of 80, silver award. All right, and can I have a comment? Yeah, Justin?
Yeah, well done on your silver award. This is great, and I think it's really been handled so well that the connection between the couple is just beautiful. And I think it's really clever the way that the light is sitting off center to the right, and so is the couple to line that up. Well done.
Okay, thank you for that, Justin. And we're just going to have a blank screen for a moment. We're going to do a quick judge change just to keep everybody fresh. Justin, you can have a quick break, and Angela, if you'd like to come in, please. Okay. Now, we logged in, Angela, there?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we've got a score of 80, which is a silver award. All right, and can I have a comment from somebody down the line there to the... Yep, Shah.
Congratulations to the photographer on your silver award. Thank you for presenting a lovely depiction of an engagement. I think perhaps for looking forward, that the white shirt is quite dominating in the image. Perhaps a little bit more attention to the styling if you have that input to your clients. I think that would really help elevate things further.
Okay, thank you for that, Shah. And can we have the next print, please? Next print, please. Okay, we've got a score of 79, which is a bronze award. And so, we need to do a review, don't we? Yeah, because it's sitting right on the cusp of a silver. So, you can challenge it if you want, yes. If you want to talk it up. Yep.
79 is a horrible place to be, judges. Take it from one who knows. We're very, very close to rewarding this image as a silver, which I think that it rightly deserves. It's been well handled, it's been beautifully presented. The squareness of the image is sort of beautifully framed by the softness of the trees and the leading lines of the side of the road. The highlight in the bride's dress and the beautiful reflection that it gives on the road is just absolutely stunning. It may not have been an intentional thing, but it really gives this image just a little bit more extra dynamism. So I encourage you, judges, just have another look at this. It's really well worthy of a silver, and the connection perhaps isn't. The connection is beautiful with the hands joined together above their heads, which sort of mimics the same lines of the trees and the strong parallel lines at the side of the image. So, yes, judges, please have another look. I had it at 82.
Thank you, Shah. Jeremy, you're down the other end of the scoring.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate all of those things, Shah. The leading lines, the shape, the dynamic figure that they're creating in that space. The challenge that I had of getting it up to silver is that the closer I get, the more I wanted to see an expression or something in their faces, because you can kind of tell that there's joy happening there, but every time I got closer, the little highlight of the light punching through from the back kept taking me away from what I was hoping to see to that light just near her backside. And that was really drawing me out of that moment, and that was my challenge.
Tanya, a word from the middle ground?
Similar to Jeremy, actually. And just, although the trees frame the couple really beautifully, they do compete for attention. That was just the only, that was a little bit of a thing that held me back at 78.
Okay, Shah, back to you.
You're all very close, judges. We're high 70s. I guess for what both of you have said about the highlights in the trees, I guess those are necessary in some respects to create the effect that it has. I think that there are small elements that actually add to the image here and have created something that's a little bit special. With the darkness of it, I don't know that the expression of the couple is actually paramount here. You wouldn't see it to a certain extent anyway in this particular pose because they're facing sideways and not towards a light source. So I think that the strength here is in the beautiful flow and movement of the dress when everything else is so still. You have that beautiful little piece of movement there and the little archway of their hands, which sort of harps back to the idea of matrimony of churches. It gives that sort of that little bit of a religious feel, if you like. So 82 judges, come on up. A few points won't hurt.
Okay, judges, please rescore. Shah, you need to hit enter. Okay, you've done it. 80, silver award. Okay, thank you very much, judges. And can we have the next print, please? Yep. Okay, we've got a score of 85, silver distinction. All right, can I have a comment for the photographer for somebody? Jeremy's just sort of like raising his eyebrows.
Yeah, this is hilarious. What can someone explain to me what's going on? Is it the same woman but 3 different men? Like, this is so intriguing. Like, the symmetry thing got me straight away. Like, I love a good symmetrical image. I mean, the difference between the 3 shots of her is the veil position, but obviously the men are different. Can somebody else comment on that?
I think it's 3 different weddings shot in the same place.
She's got exactly the same profile.
And you also can tell that like, they're slightly different. Like the top couple are quite high in the image, and the other 2 are a little bit lower. So no, they are different brides. We do things differently in New Zealand, but not quite that different.
Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations to the photographer, and thank you to our judges. Can we have a blank screen for a moment? We're going to just change a judge out. Shah, you're having a break. Stacey, come on in. Okie dokie, we're good to go. Can we have the next print, please?
This was one of my...
Who am I jumping in for? Okay, cool.
Okay, we've got a score of 81, which is a silver award. Okay. And can we get a comment from somebody down? Amber, you're throwing your hand up? Yep.
Congratulations on your silver award. I really appreciate this piece. I love particularly the way that the matte borders are working so beautifully in with the colours and the tones in the image, and I feel like perhaps this piece was the couple's maybe favourite photo, and they wanted it turned into an artwork or something a little bit more. I really also love the way the warmth really shines through from the woman. In order to elevate this a little bit more, it would have just been so much more satisfying if the the outline of the florals on the back of the woman's head sort of matched into the shape of the heart a little bit more, and that if there was just like full consistency around that outside. But it's a beautiful image, and congratulations.
Great, thanks for all that feedback. All right, so can we have the next print, please? Amber, I think you need to hit enter. Can you try again?
We've got a score.
I haven't seen anything.
We've got an initial result.
We can't see anything at our end.
That's a bit unusual. It's the same for you.
That's, aha, there we go. Whoa. 79, Bronze Award at the moment. And yes, Jeremy, you can elect a challenge.
The more I looked at this image, the better it got. From a distance, it's so much more beautiful up close. As an exercise in details, this is exquisite. The management of light, the position, the depth of field, the focus is not so much on the bride, but the accessories that she's probably paid an absolute mozza for. It's just really well managed, and it's an exquisitely beautiful image. The decisions that the photographer's made to capture this image is spot on. The direction of the light, the fall of the light, the highlights are there. Even in the blacks, there's detail, except for the background, but that's irrelevant in this image. I think it needs to be rewarded. It's definitely a silver image.
Angela, you're at the other end of the scale.
Yeah, I gave this a 75 and really happy that photographers achieved a bronze award for this. I appreciate all of those things as mentioned, and I really, really love the kind of glowing feel of her skin and the fabric on the dress. It's quite beautiful when you look up close, and that's the reason why I scored it at 75. And the thing that stopped me going any further is just you talked about the details, but the hand over the back is kind of a little bit awkward and claw-like, and those sort of details that just a simple change in that would have elevated that so much more into the next level for me.
Amber, would you like to help Jeremy out?
I would. I am in support of this image being a silver. I gave this an 82 for all of the reasons that Jeremy has already spoken to. And initially I really felt uncomfortable about that hand at the back there too, Angela. But the longer that I looked at it, I felt this real sense of sort of uncertainty and hesitancy from the subject, and I feel like that hand is just the perfect sort of uncertain, hesitant hand there that just sort of, it gives this image a bit more reality, and it really sort of helps to perhaps describe how a bride could be feeling on their wedding day. And I think the fact that the bride is not looking at the camera sort of allows that hand to speak for her rather than her face. And it's just the beautiful, rich, textural nature of this image that when you see it up close, it just is so appealing. I really, really feel like it deserves a silver.
Okay, Jeremy, back to you.
Yeah, just going back to that hand, I think if that hand wasn't there, I think there would be too much black, and it brings a really beautiful balance not only to the dark background but also to the symmetry of the image. It's almost moving into that top third line, which just counterbalances the bottom hand beautifully and just gives you a little bit more texture and detail in the photograph. I think the photographer has made some amazing decisions to capture this moment and skillfully execute it and manage it and deliver it. I think it definitely deserves a silver.
Okay, judges, can we please rescore? Okay, good talking. 82, silver award. Alrighty, now we'll accept that score, and that, I believe, is the end of the print judging. So we're going to have a small moment whilst the digital display is brought in. So judges, do a little stand up, stand down, stretch the legs. Okay. And just a reminder that the awards are sponsored by Canon, and this category, the Wedding Creative category, is sponsored by Wedding Workflows. Thank you to both of those sponsors for their generous support. So for the audience out there on the live stream, we are just having a small changeover. We're going from the print entries over to the digital entries. So we just have to swap a display over for the judges. And this would be possibly a good time. This would be a good time for the judges to introduce themselves. Okay, so judges, we're going to have a quick intro round. So we'll start with Tania, because you're at this near end.
Kia ora, my name's Tania Niwa. I am based in Taranaki, and I've been there for about 7 years. Prior to that, I was based in Manly on the northern beaches of Sydney for 25 years. So my primary area of work is the commercial and portrait space. So I work in the Māori economy. With the sort of work I do, a lot of aerial imagery as well. In Sydney, I had a sort of a boutique portrait and commercial studio, and I've actually recently been elected to the AIPP board. We've come back, so yeah. And I'm Grandmaster of Photography with AIPP, and Master with, what is it, Gold Bar or something like that, NZIPP. What used to be Fellow, but it got changed, yeah. Thank you.
Cool, all good. Thanks, Angela.
I'm a family photographer based in Christchurch for 12, almost 13 years now. I've mostly studio-based and have families and babies as my thing, which I love dealing with. And I'm NZIPP Master with Distinction, and yeah, that's me.
Okay, great. Thank you. Stacey?
I think what Angela forgot to say is that she's the current newborn photographer of the year with. I'm Stacey Cavalier. I'm a family and wedding photographer based here in Christchurch. I've been in business for about 12 years now, I think it is, and I'm a NZIPP Master of Distinction with one bar. I won the Family Awards in Family Photographer of the Year in 2022, and last year I was a finalist in Wedding.
Okay, thank you. And Jeremy?
Hello, my name's Jeremy. I am a family photographer. I've been shooting for about 30 years. I've probably shot about 1,000 weddings, but I don't do that much anymore. So our business is based in the ACT, and we mostly photograph families on location. I was a member of the ARPP. I don't know if it's coming back. If I still am, so that means I am a master with one bar. With the ARPP, I've won 3 state titles, 2 in family, 1 in travel, and I was a finalist in family for nationals to my wife. Congrats.
Amber?
Hello, my name's Amber Griffin. I am a portrait and commercial photographer, and I live and work out of a studio in the beautiful Wairarapa. I am a proud member of the White Ribbon Club, so a grandmaster of the NZIPP, and wow, 1,000 weddings, Jeremy, that is a lot of weddings. I actually have shot weddings, about 15 or 16 when I lived in Auckland many moons ago, but I don't photograph weddings anymore these days. And what else? I was the NZIPP Photographer of the Year from 2023, and a few other things, but really glad to be here with this wonderful crew, and let's get back into judging.
No, I'll grab Justin as well because he's in the room, and Shah's disappeared. Just tell the audience about yourself, Justin.
Hello everyone, I'm Justin Aiken, also like Amber, part of the White Ribbon Club. And I think we got ours together maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. 5-time NZ Wedding Photographer of the Year, 3-time Plenty Waikato Photographer of the Year, and wedding photographer. And I've been a member of NZIPP since 2010, I think. And yeah, happy to be here.
Cool. Okay, thank you very much. And we will get back to our digital judging. And Jeremy, yeah, you just jump back in there, please. Yeah, that was just an intro. Yeah. Okay, I believe we're ready. Are we ready? There's a last minute little something going on. Okay. Rightio. Okay, so can we have the first? That is not the first image, team, by the way. It's a screensaver. Okay, can we have the first image, please? Standby team. Hey Shah, while we're just waiting, do you want to come and introduce yourself to the audience, because the people want to know who's judging their prints?
Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm Shah Devine. I'm a portrait photographer based here in Christchurch. I was a wedding photographer for 25 years. I ran my own business here, and after earthquakes and things, I decided to reinvent my business and focus more on portraits than weddings. My main work revolves around body positivity. I do personal branding. I love photographing pets and maternity. If I have the opportunity to get out and about on my own, I like to photograph travel and landscape. If you can't find me with a camera, you'll find me in an op shop looking for sparkly treasures for my curated workshop, my studio. And I'm always up for coffee, so if you're around and you want a coffee, hit me up.
Thanks, Shah. And just waiting for this small technical issue. I think we're almost there by the looks of it. Okay. Once again, thank you to Wedding Workflows for their kind sponsorship of this category. Okay, the Wedding Creative category. And we are there almost. Okay. Here, jump in.
Oh, Tania here again. I just forgot to also mention that I had a wedding business in Sydney for about 15 years, so I forgot to mention that one, and I sort of retired from shooting weddings up until about 5 weeks ago. I shot a wedding again.
Okay, thanks team for that introduction. Good to hear what the judges or their experience, etc. So the everybody out there knows who's judging their photos. Okay, can we have the first print, please? Okay, let's go. Still waiting for a score from Jeremy. Oh, it's okay. Technology's been working for an hour and a bit, and now it's having a moment. Stand by, we're just waiting for something to connect. Okay, we've got a score of 76, which is a bronze award. And, okay, so can we have a comment for somewhat? Yeah, okay, jump in there, Angela.
Well done to the photographer for this. I think it's a really unique and creative presentation for a wedding photo. It makes me think of the Impressionists and even a bit of American Gothic in their pose. I think to elevate it, maybe just relook at how some of the highlights draw your eye a little bit too much on the bride there, but yeah, well done.
Okay, thank you very much. And forgot to clap on that one, so there we go. Alrighty, okay, can we have the next print image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 81, silver award. Can I have a comment from somebody? Amber, okay.
Congratulations on your silver award. This is a wonderful portrait of this couple. I'm not sure whether the decisive moment is constructed or you actually captured that at the time that it happened with the veil there, but it's a really, really cool piece. In order to elevate this image, I just feel that there's a few details on the outer edges of the frame that are a little bit distracting and it would, in a category that you're allowed to retouch things out, it would be, I think, better that those leaves on the left-hand side were not there, just to simplify a little bit and to allow all of the other compositional elements that you've got in there, like all the triangles and everything, just to really speak for themselves. But congratulations, it's a great piece.
Okay, thank you for that, Amber. All right, and we're just going to, well, hold that image for a moment and do a quick judge change. Shah, Amber, if you'd like to take a break, and we'll bring Shah in. Okay. All right, Shah's just logging in, we're ready to go, so can I have the next image, please? No. Can you try again? There we go. Okay. So we've got a score of 80, which is a silver award. And yep, Jeremy, you'd like to challenge?
Yeah, this image is brilliant. It's the epitome of what a wedding is. It's about people. The bride and groom are just second fiddle to the story in this collage of images. It's absolutely perfect. The way that the father is picking up that balloon, there's something about that little moment amidst the little boy playing with it and the reactions. It's absolutely spot on. And the middle image with the boy's foot up in front of his face, you can't even see his face. It just brings so much joy. And, you know, sometimes there's a little bit too much focus that can be on the two people uniting, but it's more than that, and it's a celebration, and this celebrates all of those moments. And what the photographer's done is they've prepared themselves for that chaos that inevitably happens at weddings, and that's what makes weddings so beautiful, is all of those little moments outside of this union between two people sharing their love in front of their family and friends. And I just think the celebration of that is worth rewarding. There might be some little issues in there in terms of focus But I think that's forgivable because the reactions, every frame brings something to the story, and I think we should be rewarding the photographer for that.
Tanya, you're down the other end of things.
Yeah, I scored this in the 74 range. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciated everything you also mentioned, and starting with the little boy, it's really clear that with this couple, everything's about their child, and you know the joy is right there and captured with everything's about him as well. It was just that all of the images, it's lacking the sharpness. So my question was, is this because the images aren't sharp, or is it the... Yeah, I'm just judging based on the lack of sharpness on all of the images. That's what I was, that brought it down for me. So, yeah. So I'd question whether that is actually just the screen, or is it actually, yeah.
We will get somebody to just check that for you. But Shah, you're at the other end of things. Oh, sorry, you're up with Jeremy and as far as the numbers are concerned.
Yes, for the same reasons that Jeremy has eloquently pointed out, my feeling was exactly the same. As a wedding photographer, this is a masterclass in observation. You're always presented with curveballs on a wedding, and that pun is definitely intended. There's always someone at a wedding, and it could be a person like a grandparent, or more often than not, it's the kids that steal the show. And I used to often tell my brides, prepare to be upstaged if you've got flower girls and page boys, because they just do the coolest stuff. And this is a cool depiction of exactly that. It has humanity, it has feeling, it has empathy, it has history, and it's a beautiful depiction of exactly what you would see at a wedding. So I scored it 86.
Jeremy, back to you.
Yeah, thanks for the support, Shah. I think there's 3 photos in here that set this up so well, and it's the first one, which is the little boy running into the scene, like it's all about him. And the photographer is preparing you for this story, which you can see it evolving throughout the ceremony, even to the second last one. So the second last one is just the celebrant and the brides, and the the expression on the brides' faces is priceless, because they've got WTF written all over their face, like what has happened. But the last moment is them celebrating with that little chaos in their arms. And I think that's what holds this together so well, is that like finality of embracing the chaos, and we've made it, and you know, this has been an amazing celebration. To go back to the focus, I don't care. Usually I would care about that stuff, but I just don't care in these frames, because the photographer has prepared themselves, like Shah said, to just focus on capturing, I use the word focus, on capturing those moments more than worrying about the technical detail. They're in the right spot, all the images well composed, and the presentation of this story is worth a high distinction. Come on up.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Judges, please rescore. Jeremy, can you just put your number back in? Okay, you solidified it. 83, silver award. Righty go. We're just going to take a small technical moment. All right, so just. Okay, small technical break there. Now let's have the next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 75, bronze award. And can we have a comment for the photographer and Stacey?
Yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful dip that they've done. I think they've practiced that really, really well. It looks really romantic and it looks really genuine, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's just that the lines created in the background, and there's a little bit of perspective off there. Some of them, the verticals aren't quite vertical. And there's some real distractions in the background that kind of pull us away from what's going on there. I'm also possibly wondering if there's a little bit of loss of sharpness on those flowers on the front there. So, but well done to the photographer. It's a really beautiful, beautiful moment with this couple.
Okay, great. Thanks for those comments, Stacey. And we are just going to do a quick judge change. Actually, we're going to do a double judge change. All right, so Tania, yes, you can take a break. Thank you for your good work there. And Jeremy, if you'd like to take a break. And Justin, come on in. Yep, Simone. Sorry, did I not verbalise that? My brain thought it, but it didn't come out. Yep, yep. Okay, we're all ready to go, so can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 75, which is a bronze award. And Justin, yes, you'd like to challenge it?
Yeah, I'll challenge that, and I don't think I have to work too hard for this. I'll put it at 80 silver, and I think it deserves a silver. There's the obvious things. In a creative category, we could remove that door handle, which is obviously distracting, and the eyes go straight there. But the adoration that this groom has for his bride is just so beautiful and honest and just, it's lovely. It really is. It's beautiful. The bride just seems so content, you know, on her wedding day. I really love the framing. I love how they've put him in the bottom, you know, the bottom right like that. It's just a lovely image and it's beautiful energy. This groom has just unwrapped the best present of his life, and he knows it. And I think it deserves an 80. I think it deserves a silver. Let's get up there.
Angela, you're down the other end.
Yeah, I really wanted to love this when I first saw it come up. The colour palette is gorgeous, but the thing that just really disappointed me was that blown out highlight on her forehead, which is just so distracting, creating a shadow in the middle of her forehead, and just the light in general. The harshness of that shadow could have been dealt with across her face a little bit better. It's not flattering. liked how the deepness and the contrast in the shadows there is just really distracting from the overall moment, which I think, and I agree, is really quite beautiful. So those technicals have just really let it down for me. But happy to listen and come up yeah.
Simone?
Yes, I scored it at 75, which is just got it into the bronze range, and I agree with the technicals there, and you've already mentioned that, but I do love the brave cropping there, and as wedding photographers, it's so hard to get a groom into his girl. Like, they just don't like to show that emotion. They're just like Kiwi boys that just don't do it. So just for that alone and her happiness there, I was willing to go past a few of the technicals that were clearly should have been addressed. So I think bronze is great, but I couldn't quite get to a silver.
Okay, Justin, back to you.
Yeah, I think bronze is stingy. Look, I'm not asking for silver distinction. I'm not asking for gold. I'm asking for silver. And thanks for that support. Simone, nearly called you Rochelle. Thank you for that support. And you're right, it's difficult to get, especially Kiwi lads, into their bride. And that was the thing that struck me. And that moment is just so honest and beautiful. And the bride knows it too. She's like, yeah, I know this, And it's definitely deserving of silver. And let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, judges, please rescore. Okay, 78, bronze award. Okay, thank you very much. Good talking, judges. Good comments back to the photographer. All right, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Angela, yep, you can challenge.
Yeah, I gave this a 82, and I just think that the photographer has done a really great job of including this couple's story into the image. To me, this reads to me like they're perhaps from somewhere else. They don't come from. This is like Auckland, I think, the scene in the background. So they're looking off in the distance, perhaps family members who can't be with them on their wedding day, but then they're here in this place now in Auckland, and it's just them, and they're together, and that they have each other. But I just really think that that way of bringing in that story and narrative has been really well handled here, and should be rewarded.
Okay, Shah, you're down the other end of the things.
Yes, I scored the image 74. The story for me is a little bit conflicting, as with the couple looking away from each other. It doesn't give the harmony and the feeling of their togetherness. It creates a distance, and a disruption, I think, to the overall feeling of the scene. I think the concept is really, really amazing, and it just needs a little bit more finessing. The buildings coming out of the couple's heads at the bottom could have been better positioned, and the bright highlight on the right-hand side could have been handled. There's a lot you can do in this category, and I think that this image has really, really good bones, and I would really encourage the photographer to have another look at it. But for me, it sits in a high professional standard.
Okay, the other three are all within a point of each other. Can I have a comment? Justin? Yeah.
Sure. I've given this 76 bronze, and I think it's deserved of that. I love the triple exposure that's going on here. I echo Shah, though, with everything she said, so there's no need to repeat that. But I also probably would have cropped in a little bit, and there's a little bit of left fringing on the left, top left, that distracts me. Otherwise, yeah, you know, it's very well done. Congrats on your bronze.
Angela, back to you.
Thanks, guys. I think I might be fighting a losing battle here, but I still support this image, and I think that it deserves a few more points. So if you can bring that up, that'd be awesome.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. Okay, good conversations and feedback. 77, bronze award. Alrighty, thank you for that. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 76, which is a bronze award. And Justin's immediately wants to challenge that.
Yeah. As a wedding photographer, you absolutely do not enjoy it when the bride says, "We've got sparklers." Because it's just a mission. And the hardest part about it is making sure that those sparklers don't run out before the other people have lit them, the new ones. And whenever I do this, I kind of ask, basically it's important for the photographer to coordinate this because it's generally the only person who knows. And I always ask them to do them in clumps, like groups of people will light at the same time so that the sparklers are going at the same time. And this photographer has done that. They haven't just stood there and taken a photo. They've coordinated this whole thing. Look at the expression on the bride's face. She's loving it. You've got the modern life in there with the phone right in their face, and that hasn't been taken away for good reason. I love the square crop. I really feel like you guys need to come up to silver for this one. There's a beautiful energy. And like I say, the photographer hasn't just, stood there and taken a photo. And the other thing is normally the photos that do come out from the scene are not great. And we see it so much, but this is just different. It's done well, and it's been well handled. And I congratulate the photographer for creating this. Let's talk about it.
Simone from the other end.
Yeah, I scored this a 73 at a good professional standard, and I was probably, definitely stingy, and I'll definitely come up, probably definitely to a bronze. I think I just struggled with some little technicals, like the top right corner hasn't even been cropped, and that I don't know why they've just left that top right corner and with something coming in there, and they could have just removed it or spotted that out. So just a couple little technicals. I do love the skin tones, the way they've done everything really well at night, and that isn't an easy thing to do. So, yeah, I'm definitely happy to get up to a bronze.
Angela, a word from the middle?
Yeah, I gave this a 77, so not too far off, and I think I can probably be persuaded to come up to silver. What struck me with this image is just kind of the chaos of the moment, and you can feel the photographer's frustration, I'm sure, when he looked at the frames and saw the one person who ruined it with the phone in the middle of, after they've coordinated everyone to do everything on time, and the sparklers were all going and it was perfect, and there's just always that one person, but that kind of adds to the story because it's a bit of chaos when trying to do this sort of shot, and I think that, it's fun, chaotic, and it tells a story, which, I'm happy to come up.
Okay, Justin, back to you.
I didn't actually hear anything bad there. I can look past the little thing in the top right corner, Simone. And with regards to the phone, we can't do anything about that. It's the age we live in, and it's there. So we just have to accept it. And a lot of the time, the bride and the groom get those photos, so that's cool for them too. The crop, I think, has been really well thought about. They've thought about making this a square crop because all the other stuff is just irrelevant. And the way that they've focused on the couple, the framing is beautiful. Let's do this. Let's go to silver.
Okay, team, let's rescore. We're on 79, which is a bronze award. Because it's on 79, for those that don't know, we need to do a review, and judges, we need to do either 79 or 80 as a score. Okay, you've done it. 80, silver award. Okay, good conversations, people. All right. Can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 79, which is a bronze award. But Shah, you'd like to challenge this?
Yes, please. This image has a lot going on, and the more you sit with it, the more you see. The way that the photographer has presented the matting, even though it is a digital image, is beautiful because it mirrors the shape of the dress. And as a wedding photographer, getting that dress sitting absolutely perfectly is a mission in itself. The way that the doors are positioned and her arms leaning forward to the image and behind really, really draws you in, and it gives you a really kind of an unsettling feeling, but also it has like a dimensional feeling, like you're being drawn into the centre, which I find really compelling, something that I haven't really felt with a wedding image like this before. It's a very interesting concept. It's been well handled, it's been well presented, and it's really different. The other thing that really intrigues me too is the lighting on her hands and her back. They are a mirror image as well, and I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it does actually add a really interesting dimension to the image. So it's been well thought out, it's been well put together. It's strong, it's architectural, it has a very compelling feeling, and I really feel really drawn into the image. So I scored it 86.
Stacey, do you want to talk for the other end?
Yeah, I scored this as 77, and I really do appreciate all of those things that you said about the shapes and that beautiful arch at the bottom, and the way that the mat mirrors that. The tones are really, really soft, and that's really compelling too. What I struggled with was the arms. I feel like it's so beautiful and so soft, and then we come up to the arms, and because of the position that they're in, it kind of shortens them, and I find that quite unflattering. Which leaves me feeling a little bit awkward. And then obviously we've got the photo or the picture in the background with the goat. And I was looking for a narrative. So I would really, really love to kind of understand that a little bit more, because I find the rest of the image so beautiful, and those soft tones are absolutely gorgeous. But that part of the image just leaves me feeling quite unsettled and unsure. And instead of feeling unsettled and unsure in a positive way, I feel unsettled and unsure in I don't quite know what to think. So I'd love to hear what you've got to say for that, Shah.
Simone, you're in the silver range.
Yeah, I just tucked this into an 80, and at the beginning I was quite confused as well, especially because of the arms. And normally I thought, it's just not flattering enough, especially on her fingers. It's not feminine enough. But then I realised that's probably not what the photographer's wanting. He or she has got this bride that there's a reason she's doing this. There's a part of her personality that's obviously very attracted to maybe her interest or her keenness up there, and the photographer is wanting that to be portrayed to us, I feel. That's what I've perceived from this. I hope that helps.
Shah, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, judges. Just to address your thoughts, Stacey, I think that the idea here is that there is a softness and an etherealness, but I think there's a darkness to this bride. You can see that with the tattoos and the image in the background. It has almost a little bit of a sinister feel to it, and I think and a darkness, and perhaps she is a bride going to the dark side. Perhaps I'm not quite sure what that's the kind of the feeling that I get from it. The arms are reaching out. They're strong. They don't have to be particularly beautiful in this sense. Perhaps it's mirroring the horns of the image in the background. It has kind of like an antler type feel, which kind of fits the theme of a little bit of darkness, which I think going through those doors, perhaps that's where she's heading. So look, we're very close, guys. I really feel that this is really a really interesting piece of communication. The fact that it does make you feel unsettled, and it doesn't matter that it's in a bad way, the fact that this image has moved you to feel like that is actually the image's strength, and the photographer has done an incredibly good job at portraying that by moving you to feel that way. So yeah, guys, I think that needs a little bit more rewarding. So have another think and push those magic buttons.
Okay, judges, please rescore. Okay, good talking. 81, silver award. Alrighty, thank you for that, judges. And can we have the next image, please? scores there, please, judges. Okay, we've got a score of 80, silver award. And can I have a comment from somebody? Oh, Shah's thrown her hand up immediately. Yep. Or, okay, Angela, it doesn't matter. Yeah, either. Yeah, it's fine.
Well done to the photographer on this. I really applaud your bravery to convince the couple to take up this opportunity and have this fun moment in their wedding. I think to improve this and to go even higher, some clarity and sharpness in some of the faces there. But yeah, I love the moment.
Okay. Did you have something else there, Shah?
Yeah, just very quickly, congratulations to the photographer. This is absolutely wonderful. I'd love to know what they're listening to, and the fact that they have an eclectic mix of people around, which won't be family. They'll just be random people on the street, because most Asian couples that come to New Zealand have very limited family with them. Just to elevate it a little bit more, perhaps the cropping on the side, just give it the image a little bit more room to breathe. It's very tight at the top where the light is, and the lady in the green top with her hand. I'd also love to see it as a black and white too. I think that would actually add quite a different dimension to it as well. So congratulations.
Okay, thank you, judges. Can we have the next print, please? Image. Okay, we've got an initial score of 83. We've got an automatic challenge by Shah, and just a reminder to the judges, etc., we need to keep things a little bit tight on our timing, so we don't want to shortchange anybody, but let's just keep those comments to the point.
I saw this in the run-through and I thought, I really, really hope that I get to judge this. It is simple, it is beautiful, it has an ethereal quality. The connection between the couple is stunning. The dress has captured the movement beautifully, and that little incline heading off to the left just indicates that journey, and the photographer has cropped it beautifully with that panoramic feel to give us that sense of direction and movement. The shapes in her dresses are mimicked in the shadows in the sand behind them. The sky is soft and ethereal. They're beautifully positioned. There's nothing competing with them. Your eye is completely drawn to them and their connection. It is an amazing piece of work. It's stunning. It would be incredible as a work of art on the wall. And it just has it's simple, it's clean, and it's been well handled, and I scored it 93.
Simone, you're down the other end of things.
Yeah, I scored this at 77, and I was probably a bit tight, obviously. I could go to a silver. I think what I scored it, I could score it a silver for everything that you said. I think what I struggled with more than anything is just the groom and just that dead arm. It's just a log. It's just, you know, and I mean that in a that didn't sound very polite, but it is a very dead arm. It's not showing that connection that everything else is there, and I almost feel that if the photographer could have maybe chosen the next image where that arm was maybe doing something or swinging back or something like that, it could have really helped. But it's just that the groom that actually let it down. But it's a beautiful image, and I love the tones.
Angela, a word from the middle ground?
Yeah, I gave this an 88, so not too far off you, Sharon, and for all of the reasons that you said. The flowing dress, I love how that is reflected in the sand and stuff behind. I love the softness of the colour palette in the background, which really helps to bring you back into the couple, and their connection is just really, really beautiful. The arm, I think, is probably what really held me back from going higher, but I'm happy to give it a few more points if that gets it up into silver distinction.
Okay, Shah, back to you.
Simone, were you referring to the by his side, or the hand, or the way that they're holding their hands, the arm holding their hands?
Both his arm that's just by his side, and also it's like it's almost like he hasn't got the enthusiasm that she's got. It's like she's like, come on, dear, let's do this, and he's like, oh.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that clarification. I think it kind of epitomises Kiwi men to a T, does it not? It is very hard for them to get their emotion and captured. The fact that he is holding her hand and he is gazing at her, the arm didn't bother me at all. I think that connection is still there. I'm not sure what else he would do with that hand. If he'd put it up like as a fist pump or something like that, it would have taken away from the calmness and the peace and the serenity of the image. It would have cheapened it somehow, which I don't feel would be appropriate. So look, thank you for the support, Angela. You're not far off the pace here, but I really feel that this is a standout piece of work from the photographer. So let's give it a few more points, please.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. Okay, talked it up. 86, silver distinction. Rightio, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a silver, sorry, misspoke. We've got a bronze award at 77. Okay, fairly tight scoring across the judges there. Can we have a comment for the photographer from somebody? Yep, go, Stacey.
Yeah, well done to the photographer, and I really commend the photographer for trying a different pose with that backlit light. So often we see couples face to face, but they've given it a go with a twirl, which is really interesting. I think where it could be a little bit improved is just on the left-hand side. I'm very, very drawn to those naked branches, and if they had been toned down a little bit, I think that would just keep the balance a little bit more within the image.
Okay, thanks for those comments, Stacey. Now, just a quick judge change. Simon, you can jump off, and Amber. Amber, yeah. Thank you. Okay. All right, and if we can have the next image, please. Okay, we've got a silver award, 81. All right, and can we have a comment for the photographer? Amber, you're at this end. Yep.
Congratulations on the Silver Award. I love the concept of this image, and really applaud the photographer for creating this. In order to improve this image, it would just be so wonderful if the people in the background on the right-hand side of the image could have matched the energy of the three subjects on the left. For me, the imbalance of the energy of those, of the rest of the bridal party, just lets it down a little bit. So if you are able to really try to coach your subjects to really bring that energy out, I think that would have really improved the image, but well done.
Okay, thank you for the comments. All right, and next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 83, which is a silver award, and Justin's throwing his hand up for an elected challenge.
Yep, we're not far from it, so we're going to silver distinction with this, guys. These are the images you normally delete, and this photographer has just brought absolutely awesome humor to the story. You know, I always look at this and I think, I'm going to give this to the couple, and I think they would appreciate that. You know, it's the middle frame, you got the guy in the background trying to control the kid. There's humor in there, in this, there's personality, there's just so much fun, and I don't think we're far from it. I think we can work a little bit harder and just add a few more points and get up to silver distinction.
Amber, you're down the other end of things.
Yeah, I am down the other end, although I'm still on a bronze at 76 for those reasons. I love the photobomb connection between all of the images. The reason that I am down on 76 is firstly for the file quality. And I would actually really like to check this with honours, but to me the file quality of this looks really, really low, and it's hard to, it feels like a lot of them aren't sharp. But then the other thing is when you're going to present a series like this with such similar compositions, it really bothers me that the image on the left-hand side doesn't have the same symmetry with those leading lines into there, and I just find I find that the whole series is very much let down by that lack of finesse with the crop. So I really appreciate the story of this, but I feel pretty comfortable on my bronze with this image.
Shah?
Yeah, I'm up there with Justin on 86. I think, Amber, just to address your comment about the symmetry here, I think that adds a little bit of an extra dimension in a positive way, because everything is chaotic. Everything hasn't quite gone to plan, and the way that those lines don't quite match up just reiterates and follows suit to everything else that's going wrong. The little boy running in front of the couple and then yahooing around the back. The dog could walk anywhere else but decides to walk right over the dress. So I think that the fact that it isn't exactly perfect epitomises what these images are. They're not exactly perfect, but they're perfect in a really, really good, humorous, well-captured way. So I don't see that being a distraction. It just sort of reiterates the actual chaos of what's going on here. So I scored at 86.
Okay, Justin, back to you.
Yep. As photographers, a lot of as wedding photographers, a lot of the way that clients and couples and families deal with things has a lot to do with your energy and what you bring to the day. And, the photographers sitting there, they're not like, I can imagine their faces like, this is awesome, and they're just continuing to photograph. They're not like sitting there going, oh shit, I'll wait for the dog to move. They've captured all of this. And the bride, you can see, she's like completely doesn't mind. The dog's like standing on the dress. And the other thing I just wanted to say is that this is the part of the day that most people, including the photographer, it's one of the hardest parts of the day. You just want to get it done. You want to get that list done. You want to get all the photos done. And a lot of the time, the images that come out of this, while they're important and they've got the family members in them that matter, they're the photos that you're going to always go back to. They're the photos that when you lose someone in life, these are the photos you're going to go look for. The ones where, we're all together. And I really love the humor in this image. We're not far. I think this image deserves more than just a silver. I think it's the silver distinction.
Okay, judges, please rejudge. Rescore. Okay, you've done it. 85, silver distinction. All right, good comments there from everybody. And we're just going to do a quick judge change. So, Justin, and if you'd like to jump out. Jeremy, if you'd like to come on in. Okay. Ready to go. And if we can please sorry? Okay, next image, please. Scores, please, judges. Okay, we've got a bronze award at 76. Okay. Stacey, you'd like to challenge that?
Yeah, I scored this at an 84, and when it came up, it just felt like it was a really, really striking image, and so much symmetry in there, so beautifully presented, and really, really, really well balanced. The couple in the middle have got a really lovely connection, and it just looks really genuine and natural. And the light kind of fall off from that centre point is really even across the image, which I really, really enjoyed. It felt like it was. We could see even on each side, which was really lovely. There are some things that stop me from going higher, but it's a really strong image with a really strong sense of these two people engaging in that space all by themselves and having that really beautiful moment. And I'd just love to hear what people have got to say about it.
Amber?
When I initially saw this, I wanted to feel all those things as well. But I just think that when you are presented with this type of beautifully symmetrical architecture, not being right in the right place to actually capture that architecture symmetrically, that is the photographer's job. To be there, to present that symmetry as it should be seen. And this is, it just really bothers me too much that the photographer could have just moved over a little bit to have that all really beautifully in place. I do agree that the connection with the couple is lovely, but I really struggled to bring this into the awards range for that reason, and also for a few other distracting elements that are in there that just sort of really take away from the story, like the bits on the edge. I struggle with the crop with this as well. It's just a little bit off, and I think for an image to receive an award, those things need to be right.
A word from the middle, all of sort of clump. Yeah, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think just extending on what Angela was just saying, I think in this scenario, I think the rotunda is... Amber, sorry, Amber. I think the rotunda is maybe dominating the photograph a little bit too much. I think in this scenario, less would have been more. The white of the roof of it is just overpowering the image, and it's taking me away from that really beautiful moment in the middle without the roof and maybe less of the stairs. I think that really would have pulled you into that moment, but there's too many distracting elements just pulling me away from the most important element in this, which is the couple in that beautiful light, in that beautiful scene. So I think the photographer is moving in the right direction, and this has got so much great potential, but I think, yeah, maybe a little less would have really elevated this image.
Okay, Stacey, back to you. Hey? We're on 76 at the moment. Yep.
Okay, yeah, thank you for those comments. I think the strength of this really is in that beautiful light and the beautiful couple, so thank you for that, Jeremy. I do understand that there is some asymmetry with the rotunda, but the strength of it for me was that initial impact that really got me. So I appreciate that I might be asking quite a lot, but even moving it up a few points would be really great.
Okay, let's rescore. A lot of feedback for the photographer. 76, Bronze Award. Okay. Can we have the next image, please? Well, that's some tight judging. 83, Silver Award. A comment across the 2-point spread. Amber, yeah, go.
Congratulations on such a striking image and presenting it so beautifully symmetrical. In order to improve this image, I think that it would have just been so wonderful if the subject on the right-hand side of the image hadn't covered their face with their hand. But the energy that you've managed to get from your subjects is really beautiful. Well done.
Okay, thank you for those comments. And now we're just going to do a quick judge change. Angela, you can take a break. And Tanya is going to come in. Okay. Get Tanya logged in. And if we can have the next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 81, which is a silver award. Okay, and can we have a comment from somebody? Jeremy? Yep.
Yeah, this is a great little storyboard. I don't know where everybody else's brain was going with this, but I just saw this was a collage of mistakes. I don't know, there's something about the phone in his pocket on the first frame, the fact that he's drinking in the second frame, or he's mid-drink, and then the third frame he's running away from the wedding. Did he need to go for a wee? Is he running away from the bride? So many questions. Well done. Good little story.
Okay, great. Thank you for the comments. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a bronze award, 75. Okay, and a comment from Shah.
Yeah, congratulations on your bronze award. Well done. This is a well-positioned and well-placed image. Because it's in the creative category, I think a little bit more finessing would have helped to elevate the image, particularly around the bride's face. The blackness of the altar behind her just doesn't help frame her what do you call it? Profile, that's the word. So I was thinking portfolio for some stupid reason. Just to help accentuate her profile, or even just a slightly lower angle just to elevate her a little bit more. But well done and congratulations.
Okay, thank you for those comments, Shah. Can we have the next image, please?
Cool, so we have a score of 80, a silver award. We've got Amber, you'd like to speak?
I would really like to challenge this image. I'm on 87 and I'm with a silver with distinction, and I just think that as far as an authentic capture goes, this is really, really clever. It's to me, I feel like this is probably photographed in windy Wellington, where the few weddings that I have shot there, the wind is a serious thing to contend with. And the artful way that the wind has moved the fabric around in this image, and the fact that the photographer has still managed to capture the kiss in there where we can see it and it's not hidden by the veil is just really, it's a really, really cool moment, and it's amazing that it's been captured. I think that when you look into the all of the whites in this image, they have been very, very well controlled, and there is just enough detail in that sky. Nothing is blown out. I think this is a really magical moment for the photographer to have captured. So I don't know why you guys are not up on 87 with me.
Tanya, would you like to say something?
Wow. Thanks, Amber. I scored a 74. I appreciated and was drawn to the absolute commitment and passion of the kiss, and that was a real highlight. And the entanglement is also really beautiful with the veil, and also the mood of the background was really stunning as well. I was a wee bit distracted on just looking around the image just by the under the arm area, but you know it is a real moment captured, and appreciate that. So I'm listening to what you're saying. I was just feeling comfortable at that range of 74, in that scoring range.
And someone in the middle, so Jeremy or Stacey.
Yeah, I was in the middle as well. I'm appreciating this image more with time. I think there's some clever choices that have been made with this image. I was seeing what it was like by blocking out that pole on the right. And the pole on the right, which keeping that in there is a bold choice just because it moves them from the centre of the frame to a little bit further left. But without the pole, it loses an anchor, which is really strange and kind of bending my mind a little bit. The negative space in the sky is another one of those elements, but the strength in the image is not those little choices to position them in the frame and the additional elements. The strength is in that passionate kiss, like unadulterated moment of pure love, enjoyment, celebration, and yeah, I'm definitely going to move. I was on 78. I think I was very weak on this image.
Cool. And back to you, Amber.
Oh, I'm so glad that we've had a little bit more time to sit with this and to see these things. I'd just like to speak to the choice by the photographer to leave that pole in the side there. I think that the bit of fabric that's just, breaking out there is actually a really key part of the composition because it balances the little piece of hair that's flying out of the bride's head up the top, and if it had been cropped any closer, I think that would have sort of really ruined that composition. In a creative category, it's so awesome to have an image that actually just feels really, really authentic sit so well in this category, and I feel like we definitely need to reward it. I also just want to speak to the amount of sky that's left in the top of the image there. I think because there's so much busyness going on, that amount of sky actually really balances the composition really well in there as well. So an ode to windy Wellington. I'm on 87, guys. See what you can do.
Go. Judges, please rescore.
I'll stand by. There's been a technical issue. One moment. It's just going to... Wait. Go.
Well done. We have a score of 85, a silver distinction. And go on to the next image.
Okay, we've got a score of 79, which is a bronze award. And I think we need to do a review of that.
Do you want any of us to talk about it, or?
Yeah, because we're on 79, we can't let things sit on the cusp. So it has to either be a 79 or an 80. Okay. So, well, they don't have to. They don't have to have an elective. They don't have to have a conversation about it. It's we just can't let things sit on the cusp. Well, you're allowed to take it. Yes. Yep.
Sorry. I will take an elective challenge. I was on 81 and I had this image in the silver range for the absolute beauty of the shape that veil has made. I feel like it's also a really authentic moment between this couple. They genuinely look like they want to be kissing and they're comfortable with it. And I just think that it's a really beautifully shaped, simple image, and it's lovely. So I think it sits in silver.
Jeremy, you're at the other end, not that far away, really.
Yeah, I was so close. The right-hand side of the image is carrying this photograph, the enthusiasm of the bride, the brightness of her. There's detail in the shadows behind her. And then I get to the groom, and I just don't believe that he's in that moment as much as she is. There's so much dark in that back left corner where there is actually no detail, and that's really drawing my eye away from all that beautiful light over to the right. Yeah, I had it as a bronze. I felt that's where it deserved to sit.
Tanya?
Yeah, I was right on the cusp of, I gave it 79, didn't I?
No, you gave it 80.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I give it 80. Okay, my apology. And they were for the similar reasons to Amber, but just what held it back for me going any further was just that little leaf behind the groom's neck, and just that there was just so much passion with the bride, but just a little less with the groom, and also, yeah, what Jeremy mentioned with that lack of detail on the left-hand side. Sorry, getting back onto track, yeah, I did score at 80 because I really appreciated the beautiful energy of the veil and how it shaped the couple.
Okay, Amber, back to you.
Okay. As far as the how you're feeling uncomfortable with the right-hand side of the image, sort of holding it all together, maybe that's a reflection of this couple's relationship. Maybe the woman has really got all of her ducks in a row, and she is really the one holding this relationship together. I would say that the little bit of light at the back of the groom's neck there, and, also how you can see that little triangle of his shirt through the veil there. I find those quite annoying too. But I think that that's probably just a reflection of the fact that this man is very lucky to be with this incredibly together woman. And, we all lift each other up in relationships, and maybe what he lacks, she really makes up for. So, in light of that, I think that you guys should jump on up to silver. Let's go.
Okay, team, let's go. Okay, you've done it. 80, silver award. Rightio. Okay, can we have the next image, please? we waiting for? Oh, there we go. Okay. Alrighty, so we've got a score of 81, which is a silver award. And Jeremy, yep, you'd like to jump in and challenge this?
Yeah, let's have a chat about this. This is really interesting.
Score?
Oh, sorry, my score, I scored 86. So I was just in high silver. Sorry, silver distinction. There's something really interesting about this set of images that I'm finding really fascinating, in that there's no image in there of the two of them together, yet you really feel the relationship dynamic of them as if they are together. And I find that really fascinating, that the photographers successfully captured that. Whether the photographers carried that or whether the bride and groom have brought that, it's kind of hard to understand. You get a real sense of their individual personalities, but you can really tell there's a unity between them that is joy and love and acceptance, especially in that middle image. The flamboyance of this guy matches her flamboyance, which is really, it's really cute. It's a really nice set of images that I think convey a relationship very well. It's very creative. The decision to have 4 black and white and 2 colour shots, the middle shots are very monochromatic anyway, so it kind of doesn't seem to matter. Normally that colour and black and white combination is quite jarring to my eyes, but this feels very harmonious. I think this is worth rewarding.
Amber, you're down the other end of things.
Thank you for that. I was on a 73, and the reason I was down there was for some of the things you've already spoken to, like the fact that, mostly it was the fact that I didn't feel like there was enough of a difference to warrant that many images in this series. I obviously see a real difference in those 2 coloured images in the middle, but I couldn't get enough of a storyline from the top 2 and the bottom 2 to make them sort of different enough. And I felt like I really needed another kind of cookie in there to give some more strength to this narrative. But I do think I've been too tough on 73. Please talk me up.
A word from the middle ground? You're all fairly tightly... Yep, go Tanya.
Yeah, I put this on at a 78. I judge this at a 78. I really appreciate and feel that with the bride, I feel like she has this, it's like it's her wedding day and she's got this ability to express herself and be a little bit out there, and obviously it shows that they look like they're quite a humorous couple, so I can feel all of those, some of the personality of the couple. And I really appreciated the repetition through the images of the setting. The only thing that just took it out of the silver range was just the sharpness on the top left and bottom right. Just that pin sharpness is not there for some of the faces.
Jeremy, back to you.
Yeah, I don't see that, Tanya. Yeah, they all look crisp to me. Just going back to what you were saying, Amber, I think the first image... Sorry, going back to what you were talking about in the change of expression. The first image, it's like the groom has given space for the bride to shine with his really simple, expressionless moment where he's just allowing her the space. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to give you what I've got. I'm going to give you who I am. And then you can see him matching her energy. So he's given her the space in the first one, and then he's come into his own in the other frames. She hasn't changed really. I mean, her pose has changed, but the energy and expression really isn't that different. Whereas he's like this chameleon. It's supposed to be the bride's day. He's wearing more white than she is. So there's this opposition that's happening, which is really amazing. But going back to what I started with, I think the fact that they're solo images, but this is a wedding day of a couple, I still feel them together in those frames. I think it's worth rewarding the photographer for the creative way of approaching this as a couple in unique frames. Well done.
Okay, judges, let's rescore, please. Okay, 85, silver distinction. Good conversations, team. Okay, and if we can have the next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 81, silver award. And can we have a comment from somebody along the line? Okay, Amber, you're jumping at the mic.
You sound so disappointed that I want
No,
to talk
no,
about it.
I don't want you to be doing all the work.
Oh,
that's all. Yeah.
I love it so. Oh right, when congratulations on your 81. I just hear the hills are alive with the sound of music from this, and I think that it's a really, really beautiful image that's been crafted incredibly well. I think in order to elevate the image, just a little bit more care with perhaps the. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the compositing of one of those birds. But as far as capturing a magical moment goes, you've done a brilliant job. Well done.
Okay, thank you for the comments. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 87, which is a bronze award. 78, that's correct, it is 78. 78. I was reading it back to front. Sorry to the author of that photo. I was just misreading. Yep. 78, bronze award. Yep, Stacey, you'd like to challenge it?
Yeah, I scored this an 82. I just felt there was so much passion in there, and it's reflected in the actual smooshing together of their faces and the way she's gripping his face, and then obviously the waves crashing around those people. There's so much movement and so much energy, and it would be a challenging photo to get right first time. I don't know whether that was the first time, but it's just absolutely beautiful, and if a real reflection of the strength of their relationship. It's really lovely.
Okay, Shah, you're down the other end of the range.
Yeah, thank you, Stacey. I scored the 74 as a high professional standard. I think that it's a lovely moment, but I see the pain in her face, which would be, I guess, from the coldness of that wave crashing into you. Her shoulders have come up, and so she's not quite as relaxed in the pose as I would have liked to have seen. There's tension in her hand, but it's like she's holding on for dear life. The position of her back and her shoulder is dominating the image because she's hunched herself up. Had those shoulders come down, and we were able to see the face, I think that passion and connection would have been a bit more evident. So I'm happy with it sitting at a high professional standard at 74.
A comment from the middle ground? Amber? You put your hand up.
No, I do want to say something. I agree with you. I really love the passion and energy within this. And I don't have a problem with the expression on the bride's face at all. Stacey, I think you said something that maybe this was like the first attempt at this, and I think you're right, because there's no water droplets on her skin or her hair, so I think that this is sort of like had to get it in one shot. The reason I was on 78, and I feel like this is it could almost be like a still from a movie, you know, it does have that level of passion in it, and then that little island on the left-hand side just kind of makes me crash back down to reality for some reason, and I find it really distracting. So if you can speak to that island and why the photographer chose to leave that in there in a creative category like this, then I think I could come up with you.
Okay, Stacey, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I too really agree with what you said. I don't have a problem with that, with the face. I think it probably would be absolutely freezing in there, but I think they've really maintained that connection incredibly well together. I mean, yes, the wave is crashing against them, so they are going to be quite tense in their bodies anyway, but I think it's all about them smooshing together, which is fantastic. Talking to the Hello Island, I'm going to talk to you. To me, that just adds a little bit of authenticity to it. So it keeps it really, really real. This is a real couple on a beach, and you know they have gone in. It's the first take that they've done. They've absolutely nailed it, and it's a really genuine, authentic, beautiful moment that I think. Let's bring it up into the silver range.
Okay, judges, please rescore. Okay, 81, silver award. Nice conversation, thank you very much. Okay, and next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 81, which is a silver award. Okay, yep, Shah, you want to challenge this?
All I can say is I'm glad he wore his fanny pack.
It's not very often that you often see wedding images like this, and there's crazy people doing crazy things in the background, and this is a really excellent documentary piece here. I'd love to know what, in the bottom right image, what he's said as his parting comment to the bride. I can only, my mind has gone all sorts of crazy places that it probably shouldn't go, but I can probably imagine what he perhaps has said on his way past. It's a really interesting, fun, humorous, photographic gold piece. As wedding photographers, you look for these kind of things all the time. You're looking for that curveball. You're looking for that little secret something that makes the day a little bit special. And they may not remember the music, they may not remember the food, but they will remember the guy in the budgie smugglers, for sure. 86.
Okay, Amber, you're at the other end.
Budgie smugglers, fanny pack, bum bag, I don't know. But I really, really, really wanted to love this. And I found myself down on 74 because I am so confused by the inclusion of all three of those images at the top. I just think that the story would have been ever so much stronger had it just been the three bottom images. And I'm baffled, and I need help to understand why the photographer chose. Like, what is that first image telling us about the story? Shall I shut up and let you talk? Great, go, please.
What clarify.
I was on 84, Charles, right behind you. I was the same as you, Amber. I was like, what? I don't understand why they would include that first shot. Go and have another look at it and see what you can see through the tree. I can see a belly button and a black pair of budgie smugglers emerging along the sand. Trouble is on its way. You know, how many times you go to an outdoor location, or the bride and groom tell you that they're going to an outdoor location, and you're like, oh, I know what's coming here. There's going to be tourists, there's going to be problems. There'll be people standing in front of you taking photos because you're on a 70-200 trying to take sneaky photos, and people can't see you taking those beautiful moments like this. And through the tree on the top left photo, you can just see this guy in these budgie smugglers emerging from behind the tree, and it's like the photographer knew exactly what was coming. He's walked through the scene. One of the guests is like, oh, this guy's amazing, let's get a photo with him. Here's the photo on the top right corner, which is the shot that the bride and groom were hoping to get, and here comes this guy again. He is the hero of the day, unfortunately for them. And I think this photographer has embraced that story, and you're right, like, this is going to be a series of photographs that this bride and groom will never, ever forget. Even if they didn't have these photographs to celebrate it, they'll never forget that guy. I think it's definitely worth rewarding. I'm coming up to high silver. Distinction, sorry.
Okay, Shah, back to you.
It's all about the bottoms, isn't it? 100%. And thank you, Jeremy. That's exactly what my thoughts were when I saw that first image. I thought, okay, this sets the scene, this anchors the series of images, but what it actually does is it introduces your protagonist. And if you look at it like a movie, that's exactly how it would play out. So you know something's going on, and you're waiting patiently to see what it is that's going to happen. And the way that this has been presented to us is absolutely brilliant. Everyone has a wedding story, and normally it's something that goes wrong. Normally it's something that was unexpected. But oh my goodness, what a wedding story this couple have! You will be laughing about this till the day you leave this mortal coil, for sure. I encourage you all. I mean, we've got a big spread of scores here, but I really feel that we can do some serious work here. And remember, it's togs, undies. Remember. Thank you. My score was 86.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. $85, silver distinction. Good conversations. Okay, thank you very much for that. And we're doing this. Okay, we're just going to do a quick judge change. Stacey, you can take a break, and Angela, jump on in. Okay, let's have the next image, please.
Interestingly enough, some of the comments like Terry, that you suspect he should be holding the bow in different sort of ways. I find that quite curious as a comment because that might be his way of actually implementing the bow. That's how he shoots. I find it quite intriguing that she's lower and he's higher. And she's way taller than him, and that's what the front balance about. She's also the forefront using the back. I think that's been thought out quite well. Talk about an opportunity lost to symmetry or the facts of symmetry. I don't know what it is. So, I personally find it solid too. Nonetheless, I think it's a really crack up image.
Okay, we've got a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Okay, and can we have a comment from somebody along, maybe Shah? Yep.
Yeah, congratulations on your bronze award. As wedding photographers, we're always looking for those little secret, delicate moments and those moments of emotion in a wedding, and you've captured that really, really well here. I think perhaps to elevate the image, maybe including a little bit more of the scene perhaps would have given it a little bit more strength. And also there's quite a large area of white at the side, on the right-hand side, by the beautiful lady in the sari, that perhaps could have been addressed, particularly in the creative category. You've got a bit more flexibility to utilise the skills that you can, and the techniques that you can use to elevate the image in this category. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 80, which is a silver award. And can we have a comment from somebody along the line? Jeremy? Yep.
Yeah, well done. This definitely deserves a silver. It's a beautiful image. There's beautiful balance. It's well constructed. The positioning of the bride and groom against that window with all the guests inside. I imagine the struggles that you had to corral all of those people into position to be looking out of the window. Unfortunately, I would have taken it higher if there was a bit more happening with the bride and groom, and it was just a little bit soft on them as well, so I couldn't really see a lot of detail. You just had got that groom embracing his bride a little bit harder as well. Really would have brought a little bit more passion and emotion into it, and would have elevated it up, possibly silver distinction. But well done, well seen, well constructed. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Nodding from other judges as well, so they obviously agree with your comments. And so, let's have the next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 74, professional standard. And can we get a comment from somebody? Yep, go Shah.
Yes, this is a really good example of a professional standard image, and congratulations to the photographer. I think sometimes with images, less is more, and you've got some beautiful elements here that perhaps are competing against a little bit with each other. The reflection in the water could have been more complete, and the rocks and the landscape to the left don't actually add a lot more to the image. So perhaps revisit it and have a look at some different crops, perhaps. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Shah. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 84, which is a silver award. Yep, Angela, you can elect to challenge.
I do. I gave this an 86, and just solely for the fantastic story and comedic moment that this is this couple have experienced by having their wedding in a public space, and I can just see just from the posture of the couple coming through the image that they are mortified. And they're hunched down and they're trying to hurry through the scene. I think the photographer's done a really, really great job of showing that story right through by putting multiple images together to show that journey through the image. And yeah, give it a few more points to silver distinction. I think it's well deserving.
Tania, you're down the other end of the range. Not that it was a huge spread.
Oh, thank you for. I gave this 80. I would have loved to give it a much higher score. It was just purely for the lack of sharpness through the image. What you actually did share with me is that it's the same. Yeah, it's multiple images, and I hadn't actually realised that, and now it's really obvious. What I did appreciate was the way in which the image was composed, with the amount of the scene that we're shown, and the beautiful movement through the image. I thought that was really beautifully done, and yeah, it was really just only about the sharpness, the lack of sharpness.
Jeremy?
Yeah, thanks for challenging this, Angela. I was only 1 point away from distinction as well. I don't know how I missed it, but yeah, I missed that it was the same couple walking through the frame. I love the irony that, and the decision to replicate them through the frame rather than just include them once, is that, what were they thinking by squatting through every single moment of them passing through? Did they think that, like, what was going on in their heads? Like, this is the hilarity of this image, is that they care, but they don't care, really. Like, we're going to pretend like we care, but we don't care. Like, we're just going to bomb this photo in this moment, which, you know, you spoke to the perils of photographing in public locations. Like, let's go and get photographed at this amazing waterfall that no one will go to. It's our favourite location that everyone knows about. But to embrace the couple walking through there multiple times just amplifies the fact that they are seen, and their squatting does not help in one moment at all of moving through that. So well done. I'm coming up to distinction.
Angela, it's back to you.
Thanks for the support on that, and I'm glad that I could educate you on the scene there. And I just, again, I think that squatting through the image just adds to that awkwardness and that feeling. Like, I can imagine them saying, sorry, don't mind us, the whole way through. But I also really love that the photographer has chosen that the couple aren't distracted by it at all, that it hasn't taken away from their moment, which I think is a great choice in this as well. So whatever happening around them, they were still right there with each other, which I think is a real strength as well. So, yeah, a few more points, bring it up.
Please.
Quickly.
Okay. I'm really sorry, but
Hold on, are you not?
am I allowed to or not?
Oh, hold on, no. Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. She's had her right. Yeah, you would have had to have jumped up and down before. Okay, let's rescore, please. Let's rescore. Well, yes. Okay, we've got 86, silver distinction. Okay, just accept that. Just to clarify for those listening out in YouTube land, once the challenger has had their right of reply, we can't have any other comments from the other judges. Rightio, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 74, professional standard. And can we have a comment for the photographer, please, from somebody? I'm going to just put in Tanya. Yep.
Yeah, just to try to keep focus on the bride and groom. It was just a little. The scene in the foreground is just really competing against the couple. So just keeping it a little bit more simple so that focus can be more in them. I think it was just a little bit distracting having this mirror image. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the comments. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score currently of 76, which is a bronze award. Amber?
I was up on 86 because I feel like this is an absolutely hilarious depiction of every wedding photographer's worst nightmare. If you had just had that central image, it could have really been interpreted that the photographer was in the wrong place at the right time. However, by adding the first image, where the photographer's clearly in the right place, just about to capture that kiss, and then the woman in the blue dress lifts that cup up into the absolute wrong place and completely ruins the shot. And I feel like the bride is in the third picture. The bride's looking back towards the photographer, saying, "I really hope you got that." And no, they didn't, because of that guest who just got in the way right at the wrong time. So I think this is a great little series, and I think it deserves to be rewarded.
From the other end of the argument, either Shah or Jeremy? Eh? Looks like it's you, Shah.
Thank you, Amber, for talking, explaining the lady on the right-hand side. She was actually the reason why I held it into a professional standard. Sometimes at weddings, you do get those people that just do the wrong thing at the wrong time, whether it be a mobile phone or walking in front of you or pretending to bend down so that you're not seen. I think the narrative for me is just not quite strong enough there. It seems to be a little bit. There's not enough of that woman to hold me and push me into that silver distinction range. I think it's been well captured, but I would think that it would be something that I would normally see at a wedding. I don't see the little extra specialness that puts it into that category.
Thoughts from the middle, Tanya?
I scored a 77. I really love the mess of this, the scene that's been caught in. It's kind of a great reflection of the I guess you'd say the spunk of the couple, the way that they've done what they've done with the kiss. And Amber, I think you helped me with explaining, because I think I was a little confused with that central image and the way you've shared a narrative around what the lady in the blue has done. Yeah, I was just perhaps a little confused, and so I've taken on board everyone's comments. But again, it's that sharpness that just kills it for me. Lack of sharpness.
Okay, Amber, back to you.
Tanya, I really think that we need to ignore the sharpness thing for this. I don't think that those images are sharp. I think it's very small on that screen. And when I first saw this series, it took me a while to understand the hilarity of this narrative. Like, I just didn't. I was like, why would you present a series of like the same photo 3 times? But when you really look into it, and when you really see the expressions on all of the guests' faces, like there's a lot of energy within these photos, and together they really explain this horrible, horrible nightmare of a guest at a wedding getting in the way of your perfect shot. So if you can't come up to silver distinction, you can at least come up to silver.
Okay, judges, let's rescore. $78, Bronze Award. Okay. Thank you for that. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got 75, Bronze Award. Can we have a comment for the photographer? Shah, yep.
Congratulations to the photographer on your Bronze Award. That's amazing. You've got some wonderful, strong architectural elements in this image. To elevate a little bit further, the expression on the bride needs to be a bit more giving. She doesn't look like she's that. It looks like she's that happy to be there. Pay attention to the dress, and also for the straight arm that's facing the camera. You're hiding the most beautiful shape of the bride's body and her dress. So just be mindful of where that arm sits, because that can actually the posing can quite change the dynamic and the feel of the image. So keep an eye on those wee things. But well done.
Okay, thanks, Shah. And Justin, don't disappear. We'll give Jeremy a break just for the last few images. He's been on a while. Okay, next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 77, which is a bronze award. And a comment for the photographer from somebody along, Angela. No? Okay. Yep, Amber.
What a hilarious moment. I can just really imagine being the photographer at this wedding and, you know, Dad's walking his beautiful bride down the hill and then the dog goes and does that. It's a really wonderful photo, full of hilarity. In order to elevate an image like this, especially in a category like this, you could just finesse the lighting a little bit more. It would be lovely to see a little bit more of the expression on the dad's face by lifting those shadows. And it would also have been lovely if the dog in the foreground was just a little bit more in focus, but I can imagine that they absolutely adore this photo, and it's a great memory to have.
Okay, thanks for the comments, Amber. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, we've got a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Shah, comment for this photographer?
Congratulations on your bronze award, and thank you for providing a little image there. It's very very hilarious and well positioned. It wouldn't have been easy to capture that. You got a split second to get that, and the positioning is absolutely amazing. I would have just liked to have seen a bit more space around the image to give it a bit more movement and a bit more room to breathe. The cropping is very tight, so just be aware of the cropping of your images. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that. And next image, please. Okay, we've got a score of 77, which is a bronze award. And can we have a comment for the photographer, please, from Tanya? You looked at me.
Yeah, joyous moment captured, and you can really feel the energy between the couple, and there's a nice balance on either side of the image as well, with the sparkler on the left and the focus through to the right-hand side. Yeah, congratulations on the bronze.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Tanya. And that is us. We are done. So I would like to, of course, thank our sponsor for this category, Wedding Workflows, and of course Canon for the major Iris Awards. I I'd like to thank our judges for all their hard work and remind them to stay in the room for finals judging. I'd like to thank all the print handlers out the back and all the hard work that they've done. Honours Council as well for their work. My co-chair here, Nicola, and myself, thank you for listening. And the next category that's going to be in this room is the creative category, which will be starting within the next half hour.